Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for September 18th. Okay, I know I haven't made a watch list in a long while. I haven't made a video in a little bit over a week now, so I guess I've been a little busy on my end of things on personal life and stuff. But back at it, so making a watch list for tomorrow, very interesting. Um, just to note, we do have a Fed speak tomorrow. Uh, and they're going to announce whether they're going to cut rates or not. The rumors going right now are that they are highly probably not going to cut rate. So what that means, it's going to be it's a bullish signal if they're not going to cut, but we can't guess the news, and we'll just have to react from there. With that said, this on the overall market, 301.25 area, this is a very key area I'm watching, and that the SPY is reaching right now. So depending on what it does tomorrow, if it can get up above the 301 and hold, or 301.25 and hold, and it's definitely a long, and we should be looking at new highs. Now, going into the watch list real quick, I have some tickers that I want to watch. First up here, we have ZS Zscaler. And they had a nice little pop today on the daily chart due to them announcing a partnership with CrowdStrike. And this stock IPO'd 18 months ago, and at the price of $18, and just ran. So as you can see, this is a very overvalued chart in a sense, and we do see that it had a big drop a few days ago from its earnings. Now, because of today's news, we have high relative volume coming back in. The stock has an average true range of $4, and this partnership is basically looking at the reaction right now. The catalyst seems good, so I do think this catalyst is going to help the stock rebound from its loss a few days ago. Coming into the 30-minute chart over here. Here we have the earnings coming down hard, and then it actually induced SSR as well, and then it just grinded sideways, and today we had the news, right? So some key support I want to watch here is the 49.83 specifically, the 49.80s area. Okay, so if I draw a line back here today, you'll see that this is the top of its previous earnings run, right? Its earnings reaction, and then we have another resistance immediately at 51.50. Okay, so really depends on what it does tomorrow out the gates. There's a large gap to fill. There is a lot of shorts piled in at this 51.50 area. So with that said, if the stock starts to hold 50 tomorrow, these shorts might get the hell out and just let her rip and start covering. And then I would be looking for 55 afterwards. So I do like the long setup here. I want to see the support areas hold though. So I'm looking at 48.70 as well, which is yesterday's highs. Today when it popped up and through, it had yet to test it, but it got over the key psychological whole number of 50, right? So it still needs to test. The close was a little bit on the weak side. We don't see any more further buying out into after hours, so I do anticipate a dip at the open. So coming into the dip, I'll be watching 49.80s, watching 48.70s, and then finally the support area of 47.25-ish. This is the major support from its earnings reaction, right? So as you can see right here, so I'm looking for one of these supports to hold and get long. Okay, so that's ZS. Next up, we have ADBE, Adobe. Adobe had an earnings call today. Let's load up some drawings real quick. Now, initially they beat this quarter, they beat revenues and everything, and it was good until they announced their guidance, and their guidance expectations missed. So we saw this massive dump here. Looking at ADBE prior to earnings, we do see people buying up here into the close. So whoever bought and bought into this earnings and gambled with it, they're in the water right now. And it looked like that ADBE has found the bottom. However, from its last earnings here, this stock tends to react very volatile a few days after its earnings. So this was the last earnings date right here on the daily chart, as you see with the arrows. It had good earnings last earnings period, and then it ran and ran for like a whole month before it started selling off again. So tomorrow I do expect this to dump some more, just because I know whoever bought into this earnings, they're very heavily into the waters right now. So we have some key resistance areas I'm looking at right now from the earnings reactions. The 280, very key right here, key psychological whole number. And then coming up here to the 282 is basically where it based today. And people were accumulating, as you can see, accumulating and holding it up. Okay, so now that we have a kill candle snap on it, prior support now becomes resistance. So 280, 282 key resistance. Depending on pre-market, if it can get back up above 287 as 278 as well. This 278 is after hours. We do see it as some sort of resistance area. If I zoom out a little bit, this 278, you see the prior few days, this was support, and now we're under it. So now it becomes resistance. Coming down here, immediate support, we have 275, which is a key psychological whole number, as you can see right here on the daily chart. And then the next step down, we have 272, where we bottomed out. And 272 is right here on the daily chart this week. So I am anticipating a pop and drop tomorrow at the open, okay? And I do like it for the short overall. I'm going to try to get in on an intraday swing and get short in the morning, swing it all the way down to the lows till the end of the bell. The average true range is $6.63. Next up, we have FedEx also had an earnings call. Now, FedEx is a little bit more different than Adobe in the sense that they did not beat revenues, and they also slashed their guidance for the year 2020. So basically, this is terrible, terrible news. Deutsche Bank didn't even wait till the morning and already gave it a downgrade from a buy to a hold now. And as you can see, after hours, it's pretty weak. So I do anticipate it to sell off a little bit more pre-market. This 156.30 area. Yeah, 156.30 area where we have a little bit of support here after hours. This is going to be a key watch. I believe we are going to open under it. Then I'm going to look for a pop and drop. The next level up, I'm looking at 157.50. Very key key resistance here after hours, 157.50 right here on the 5-minute chart, as you can see. And lots of volume going through there. And then the next level up will be this after hours bar, the 30-minute bar where we had the most volume, the lows here at 158.75. Okay, so looking for a pop and drop. If we're gapping down, so we'll see how far it gaps down to. Ideally, I do think, my plan would be to see this get under 155, okay, on the daily chart right here, and then keep continuing to push down into the 150 and 147.5. But we'll see. Oh, excuse me. So those are my 3 main watch. I do want to mention Facebook. It had news close to the end of the close today. So let's bring in my news feed here on Facebook real quick. So U.S. and antitrust regulators amid squabbles amid big tech probe. So basically, Facebook, Amazon, and Google, they have been under investigation for a long time now. And basically, the FTC got grilled today, and they're saying, they're calling them wasting time. So basically, with that said, Facebook had a positive reaction over here to this news, and near the close it ran. So looking at this daily chart, it looks very bullish the way it closed. I'm looking for a dip at the open to hold and then continue to run. We could see 190 plus tomorrow, maybe even 192. I'm looking at, let's see, 187 and 187.5 to hold support on the dip tomorrow. Whoever bought it today is in luck and hit the jackpot. So tomorrow I do anticipate them to take some profits at the open and pull it down first, and then watch for these support areas to hold and then ride it back up on Facebook. Okay, they have an average true range of $3.73. With an increase in volume, we should see about $4. So I do like Facebook. From 187 to 191 would be pretty nice. So Facebook is going to be on watch. OSTK, what can I say, man? I mean, this is a piece of shit stock that got ran up because they announced that they were going to pay huge dividends in the form of digital currencies. With that said, you can see the spike never held, and it just keep tanking. So today was an interesting day. I didn't see that it was gonna keep dumping, but it did cap up and it kept selling off. After hours, we are still closing pretty weak. So if they do gap it up tomorrow and a pop, this thing is on SSR. I'll be watching 1850, okay? And also the $19 area to hold it down as resistance and keep bringing it back down at the end of the day. Like I said, when I was looking at OSTK, this is a piece of shit stock that has no rights of being up here, but we'll see. So a gap up and dump would be ideal, but this is going to be more on a side watch. I'm not too convinced it will sell for the 4 days in a row, but it might happen, right? So just watch for that. $18 as well, very key here on the daily chart. So we'll see. And finally, we have Apple. Apple on the daily chart closing very strong, breaking out at the end of the close, near the close, breaking out of the 220 to 2025 area. And it looks like it wants to fill the gap. So I'll be looking for opening dip and rip. So expecting a pull in at the open, hold some sort of support, and then ride it up to fill the gap here. And I do like this 2050 area as a support, and as well as 2025 too. So looking for that as support, ride it all the way back up to fill the gap. And that's basically it for my watch list. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.